Hello, welcome specially to the Engineer Construction Lecture Hall. If this is the first time you're coming across my video, do well to stick to the Engineer Construction Lecture Hall for updates as regards to construction. So today we are going to look at a topic I titled usefulness. Usefulness of foundation layout. Foundation layout drawing. Foundation layout drawing. So as you know, foundation is a substructural part of our building and it is found below ground level. And that is the backbone of our structure. So for us to have a durable and functional structure, it depends solely on the how the solidity of our foundation. So it's important that for us to understand that the longevity of our structure is dependent on the solidity of our foundation. So for us to get our foundation right, we must start with having proper setting out. Okay, proper setting out of foundation, concreting of foundation trenches, foundation bases, trenches, then alignment of starter rebars. Okay, now understand that this aspect is what guides our substructural works. Substructural works, I mean those construction activities that are associated to foundation works. Now, proper setting out of our foundation is an integral part or the preliminary aspect of our construction work. Okay, it is the foundation layout drawing that enables us to do our setting out. Okay, so when we do our setting out, it will now lead to what we refer to as profiling. Okay, profiling. Now the profiling is running profile boards around the already established 4 points. After we have done with our setting out, we run our pegs and our profile boards around. Then we start doing markings. We start doing markings on the profile. Okay, we can use you can use an indelible marker. You can use nails, to plant in those points, okay, on our profile. Those points you are establishing are the various outlines for excavation. Okay, it is what gives the guideline for excavation of foundation trenches. So you must first and foremost establish that on the profile board. And what helps for us to establish that on our profile board is the foundation layout drawing. Now you work with the grid lines, okay, to establish those points. Okay, from those points, the grid lines, then you can now establish your excavation lines. Now, having done that, once you're done with the profiling, it means that you start excavation, which I said earlier, to create an outline for excavation. Now, another thing the foundation layout drawing helps us to do, it guides during excavation. So let me just add it up. Guide during excavation. During excavation. Now, guide through excavation during excavation comes after setting out and profiling, because once you have profiled, you have done your profile markings and all of that, then you run your strings and to establish the areas for excavation. Then you start, it will now guide the drawing now, because the guide here has to do with you looking at the layout, foundation layout, to see the areas that you need to excavate. Because by the time you do your profiling and you run all the lines, you discover that at a point you might even get confused, you know, by excavating areas that are not supposed to be excavated. But once you run your lines all through, then with the aid of your foundation layout, you can be able to identify areas that doesn't need to be excavated. You try to use it to guide those that are carrying out the excavation work. So that is the guide during excavation. That is one of the essence of foundation layout drawing. Then the concreting aspect also. The concreting aspect, from the foundation layout, you see clearly the area that are outlined for concrete works. Okay, that is the foundation trenches, the area for the base. It is well defined. The sizes of the base is also highlighted there. Okay, and that will also guide us after excavation for us to establish the column bases, okay, for our reinforced base for the starters. All right, so that is the concreting aspect. Then the alignment of the starter rebars. The starter rebars are those initial columns that emanates from the foundation. Those are the starter rebars. So it is the foundation layer drawing that helps to align these starters, because the alignment of these starters is very important. Once they are not properly aligned, you see that the starters will be offline, and once it's offline, it will deter the dimension of the various partitions within that building, and also it can lead to not squaring in areas that are needed to be squared. Okay, so it's important that we align our starters using our foundation layer, because in this case now it is the grid line that you use to establish the alignment for our starter columns. Okay, so these are some of the usefulness or areas where foundation layer drawing plays vital role. Okay, so do well to follow this page if this is the first time you're coming across my video, for more insightful contents as regards to construction. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Bye.